And this is going to give us our before and our after. All right then, so these are our numbers, all right? 11.4 seconds largest content page full. It's going to be worse on desktop because that's how it normally is. Performance is 59, and desktop, the performance is actually 86, which is actually brilliant. Largest content page full is 2.2 seconds. That is actually pretty good. Now, on page speed insight, we have a 73.2 megabyte page size. Remember, I said you're going to have to optimize images, so we'll look at that. 60 requests. Maybe our caching plugin can reduce that. Load time 1.43 seconds. So this is what, so we've improved from 59 to 71 in performance or accessibility, best practices, and SEO. We've improved in everything except for SEO because we haven't changed anything for SEO and accessibility. But the performance is good. We're going to take a look at the desktop because we had really good. Now on desktop, we are actually pretty amazing on desktop. 97 performance, 1 second load time. Meanwhile, where we're coming from is 2.2 second load time, 86 performance. And for Pingdom, we have 364 millisecond load time. That is actually pretty crazy. I don't believe it. Because we're coming from 1.2 seconds and 1.4 seconds. So to load in 364 milliseconds, I don't believe that. Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial by Zeilhan. Today we're going to learn how to optimize this website for speed using the W3 Total Cache plugin. Just one plugin. Now we know there are a few things that you're going to need to do to make your website faster. Optimize images. You're going to need to get in a CDN. You're going to need a caching plugin of some sort. Image optimization before uploading your images, which is something we've also discussed. But we're doing just one step of that process today. I think in the future we'll perhaps do a comprehensive website speed optimization tutorial. This website that we have here that we're going to be optimizing for speed is a website that we've built in one of our tutorials. And the reason this is important is because, when you're offering your clients services or when you're building a website for your business, you're going to need the full 100, right? So normally after we build a website, we optimize it for speed. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's just copy our link. So let's go ahead and analyze. While page speed insights run as Google Page Speed Insights, we are going to also use Pingdom just to test. I'm in Jamaica at the moment, so something closer to Miami. Well, I think Washington is the closest I could get. We're going to test on these servers, so let's just start a test. And this is going to give us our before and our after. All right then, so these are our numbers, all right? 11.4 seconds largest content page full. These are our initial numbers, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be far worse on desktop, all right? It's going to be worse on desktop because that's how it normally is. So performance is 59, and desktop, the performance is actually 86, which is actually brilliant. Largest content page for is 2.2 seconds. That is actually pretty good on desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate, and I am going to duplicate. Now, on page speed insight, we have a 73.2 megabyte page size. Remember, I said you're going to have to optimize images, so we'll look at that. 60 requests. Maybe our caching plugin can reduce that. Load time 1.43 seconds. So there are a few things that we're going to work on here, and we're going to just use one plugin to see the best results that we can get going forward. All right, now. So let's just head over to Zeilhan. We're going to head over to the dashboard, zeilhantutorials.co.uk, our domain. We're going to head to the dashboard. We're going to go to plugins, add new plugin. The plugin that we are going to install, like we said, is a W3 Total Cache. All right, we are going to install now and activate. And once we've activated, we're just going to refresh to have the option appear. All right, the option has appeared. We're going to go to performance. Dashboard. I've been using this plugin for a while. I know a lot of people have had mixed results with it, but I've enjoyed it. I'm just going to go ahead and accept this. And we're going to go next. The page cache. Let's go ahead and test page cache. All right, that's good. Then we're going to click next. We're going to test database cache. And next. Object cache. And browser cache. All right. And image optimization. We're going to enable WebP, right? That's next gen image format. We're also going to lazy load images, so that can also reduce our page size. This is all being done in W3 Total Cache. All right, good. And then dashboard. We're not going to take a look at using a CDN just yet, but in the future tutorials, we'll do that. I think we'll cover a few of them, including Bunny CDN, so go ahead and hit subscribe for that. All right, so activated, adjust the settings to convert images. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to just go to our general settings. We're going to play with a few things through these options. All right, so we're going to enable page cache. We're not going to change the caching method. We're going to leave it as is. And this is something where you want to say, you know what, less is more. You don't want to be too complicated. The number one problem you might run into is scripts breaking. So you might compress your JavaScript or your CSS scripts, and that causes the site not to be displayed as beautifully as before. So that's what we're going to be mindful of while we do this optimization. We are going to enable minification, and this is something that can cause it. See, this is what it's saying. So if you minify your files, it might actually cause errors. All right. So you don't have to activate minification. Matter of fact, I'm going to allow it for now. We're going to leave everything enabled. We're going to enable database cache, going to enable object cache. We are going to, and this is for dynamic size, but that's perfectly fine. We don't have a CDN right now, but that's perfectly fine. We will look at CDNs a little bit later. We have lazy loaded images. We haven't disabled emojis, but let's go ahead and do that. And yeah, I'm going to leave that as is. No file locking. We're not going to enable this. And we're not going to enable this. We're going to leave everything as is. No debug because we don't yet have an error. We leave everything as is. And where do I save settings? Right here. We're going to have to do some updates. But before we update, let's just ensure that our site is working well. So let's just go ahead and look at the website in incognito mode. And so far, you notice that the images take a bit longer to load this time. That's because it's this lazy loading. So if we don't scroll through the images, it's not going to load, versus before it's going to load everything before. And this is really good. I enjoy what's happening here. The format of the website hasn't been broken. All right. Did we have this big space here all this time? No, perhaps because, yes, so this is the lazy load for this. So let me just refresh and see if it loads. All right, now it loads the images. It's not loading all of them either. So let me refresh again. Oh, so there is a break here, and I think that's because of the minification settings, because the images from our recent projects are supposed to be here. That's what I meant by minify. It could cause issues, so it's going to go ahead and disable minify. And we're going to save settings. We're going to have to empty all caches after we've saved changes. And the thing I want you guys to notice, there are two things that are very important. The first is that you don't want to get the fastest speed if the website is broken because you've removed code through minification that is useful. That's the first thing. So get this website working, then optimize for speed. The second is that when you look at page speed insights and you see these numbers, you do not want to optimize for these numbers trying to get the best score, because that's not always indicative. It's a very good indicator, but it's not always indicative of the best performance. All right. So get for performance, like the actual site working, and then these numbers are secondary. Done that for minification, I'm going to go ahead and close incognito. I've closed incognito now. I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at the site again in incognito. Let's see if all our images are loading perfectly. Then we're going to check our buttons. I think this will be working fine. And it's still not loading. So it's not loading. Still not loading. We're having a lot of notifications. I'm going to enable minify, cancel, save settings. After minification, I'm going to go to page cache. So I'm going to do everything and then test. All right. So cache post page, cache feeds. We don't have these to cache, but we're going to cache the 404 page. And yes, leave all these as is. We can cache the front page. If you have your posts on the front page, you activate this. So if you have your blog post being shown on the front page and you want to activate this, otherwise it's perfectly fine. And we are good. I think that's that. We're not going to change anything in advance because we're doing some very simple changes here. And everything is good as it is. Let's save settings. Then we're going to take a look at minify. That is going to be the most important part at this stage. We are going to minify settings, inline. We're going to remove line breaks. And this could break our website. Not going to remove line break either. In HTML minification, we're going to minify CSS, and that looks good. So that's all we're going to be changing for now. We are going to, where is it? Purge all caches. Then we are going to test to see how our website looks. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to test the speed of this. And then I'm going to see if we can, we're going to analyze and we're going to analyze. And we're going to see if we can actually get some very good speed going compared to what we had before. So this is what, so we've improved from 59 to 71 in performance. So accessibility, best practices, and SEO. We've improved in everything except for SEO because, we haven't changed anything for SEO and accessibility. But the performance is good. These are the numbers. First content paidful is 2.7 seconds and largest content paidful. That's when the actual website is ready to work. It's 11.4 seconds. Now it is 4.2 seconds. Website is ready to load, although the contentful paint, the first contentful paint is 3 seconds. We're going to take a look at the desktop because we had really good. Now on desktop, we are actually pretty amazing on desktop. 97 performance, 1 second load time. Meanwhile, where we're coming from is 2.2 second load time, 86 performance. The thing that we have to now take a look at are these issues. If we scroll down, we see reduce CSS, reduce unused JavaScript. These can reduce the size of the web page. I remember it was about 3 megabytes before. Let's see if I can find that back. No, that's on Pingdom. So on Pingdom, the results are back. We're up to 90%. The page speed is 3.2 megabytes. However, now we have 38 requests compared to 60 requests, still 3.2 megabytes, 1.43 second load time before, but now we're at 1.22 seconds. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at our empty all cache so that the change is updated. And we're going to visit site now. All right, it still loads rather quickly. And we just need to ensure that our the carousel still isn't showing. The images are there. And I'm wondering if it's the lazy load that's causing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Disk Advanced. I'm going to remove lazy load images. Lazy load images is all the way at the bottom. It's right here. Let's just disable that and save settings, because if that's the issue, we can handle lazy loading of images with our image compression plugin. So let's just go ahead and empty our caches now. And we are going to visit site incognito. Let's see what happens. So the website is noticeably slower this time. It loads slower this time, for sure. And so that's the issue, guys. The issue was that the lazy loading of the images was breaking the JavaScript carousel. And I think that kind of makes sense given how the JavaScript carousel works. So we have optimized our website. We have it functional. The buttons work, I am hoping. All right, so the button does work, the navigation works, nothing is broken on the website. So what we're going to do, right, and here we have another carousel. So we can't let W3 total cache handle our caching first. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to do one final test to see what we have working with after we've taken away. All right, so while that is being run, let's just wait on Google PageSpeed Insights. So our performance is now 75, coming from 70 for mobile, which was also at 57, if I remember correctly, 59. So we've improved our performance, 4.1 second largest content full paint, which means that we have to do some mobile optimization, perhaps deactivate some images that's being loaded on the mobile version that is not necessary, perhaps get out some scripts, stuff like that. We have some points here that we can work on. Minimize main thread work, that's going to be a really big one. So we have a bit of work to do. Let's check our desktop version. So desktop version is now at 86 from 97, I believe, from 98. So desktop version is at 96. And the largest contentful paint is 86. So the website is not as fast as it was. 9.9 second speed index, 1.3 seconds, 2.4 second largest paint full, 0.9 seconds. But the thing is that we have all the images loading. So once we get an image compression software and we activate lazy load images with that software, where it's not going to actually break the site like W3 Total Cache did, what we're going to find is that this is going to go back up to 98. And for Pingdom, we have 364 millisecond load time. That is actually pretty crazy. I don't believe it, because we're coming from 1.2 seconds and 1.4 seconds. So to load in 364 milliseconds, I don't believe that. Let's just go again. Let's test that again, because something is definitely off. I don't even think a default WordPress theme loads that quickly. So perhaps it does. So let's see. Imagine that. So it's 370 milliseconds load time, B grade compared to a B grade, and 64, 78, 100, 72, 70. All right, so it's loading pretty fast on Pingdom. Let's do the eye test. So the eye test is what do you actually see when you load the website. All right, so let's do the eye test and see what happens. And it's noticeably slower now, but remember, we're going to add image compression and that speed is going to be increased. So here's what I want you guys to do. I'd love for you guys to do. You don't have to, but I'd love for you guys to hit subscribe. And in the next tutorial, we're going to add image compression, right? We're going to add image compression and we're going to see the speed changes that we can enjoy, or if we're going to enjoy the speed changes. All right, thank you guys for watching. See you soon in the next one. Take care.